I feel differently today than I felt the day after releasing Folklore, because even the day after releasing Folklore, Aaron and I were still bouncing ideas back and forth, and we just knew we were going to keep writing music. I didn't know if it was for an album of mine or Aaron and Justin Vernon have a really amazing project called Big Red Machine. So we kept writing thinking maybe we were going to do some Big Red Machine stuff, but the things that we ended up writing really sounded more like a continuation of Folklore. So when I put out Folklore, I remember just feeling so proud and happy, but still like foot on the gas, like let's keep going. This is fun. I'm not finished with this. And everybody, all my collaborators, we all felt the same way about it. So we just kept going. With this one, I have this feeling of sort of quiet conclusion and sort of this weird serenity of like, we did what we set out to do, and we're all really proud of it. And that feels really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because I feel like the stories, to some degree, there's some conclusion in this album too, from where you began on Folklore, and there's so much closure on this new record. And I want to dive into aspects of that, and I just feel like the future must feel wide open to you right now. But I want to refer back to the Long Pond sessions, and Jack Antonoff said something really poignant, which was, I've never made an album like this. I don't know if I ever will again.
Yes.
And in your mind and in your heart, you knew you wanted to carry on and there was music to be done. But it felt like for others, assuming that Jack was genuine because he's an honest human, he wasn't sure there would be an evermore or a chance to work like this again. Was there a sort of a melancholy to the end of Folklore?
Not really. I was just so happy that my world felt opened up creatively. There was a point where I got to as a writer who only wrote very diaristic songs that I felt it was unsustainable from my future moving forward. It felt like too hot of a microscope. It felt a bit like I was like, why am I just like, if I'm writing about my life and all it is, on my bad days, I would feel like I was loading a cannon of clickbait when that's not what I want for my life. And I think that when I put out Folklore, I felt like, if I can do this thing where I get to create characters in this mythological American town or wherever I imagine them, and I can reflect my own emotions onto what I think they might be feeling, and I can create stories and characters and arcs and all this stuff, but I don't have to have it feel like when I put out an album, I'm just like giving tabloids ammunition and stuff.
Yeah, there's so much judgment that would come along with every record.
Yeah, and constantly kind of like examining yourself in a way that feels like I felt like there would be a point in my life where I could no longer really do that and still maintain a place of like good mental health and emotional health and all that. So what I felt after we put out Folklore was like, oh wow, people are into this too, this thing that feels really good for my life and feels really good for my creativity. It feels really good for them too. Oh my God. I saw a lane for my future that it was a real breakthrough moment of excitement and happiness. And it kind of referred to writing these songs as a flotation device because
I love that.
Obviously this year is hell on earth for everyone, and seeing what your fellow humans are going through. The Long Pond studio sessions was the first time that Jack, Aaron, and I were in the same room. And I still haven't been in the same room with Justin Vernon, who has now collaborated on 2 albums heavily, and we've talked, but we've just never been in the same space together. It's pretty wild.
In an intimate and deeply emotional conversation with Apple Music this week, Taylor Swift opened up for the first time at length about her plans to marry her fiancé, Travis Kelce. The interview quickly sent social media into a frenzy as the 36-year-old star became visibly emotional while discussing their future. "I've never felt this certain," she admitted, her voice trembling. Seated in Apple Music's minimalist studio, Taylor wore a graceful white dress, her blonde hair falling naturally around her shoulders. Without the spectacle of stadium lights or roaring crowds, she appeared simply as a woman in love, reflective, sincere, and quietly radiant. When the topic turned to wedding plans, she smiled softly, her eyes shining with unmistakable happiness. I've never felt so sure about anything in my life, she said. Travis isn't just the man I love, he's my best friend. He makes me feel safe, and he lets me be completely myself. The quote spread instantly across platforms, touching longtime fans who remembered how cautiously she once spoke about commitment in past relationships. Wedding plans, intimate and meaningful. Taylor revealed that she and Travis envision a celebration that is heartfelt rather than extravagant. The focus, she explained, will be on family and their closest friends. We've talked about choosing a place that means something to both of us. Maybe Nashville, maybe somewhere connected to Travis's family, she shared, referencing her musical roots and his life in Kansas City, where he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs in the National Football League. She added that her mother, Andrea Swift, was overwhelmed with joy when serious wedding conversations began. On Travis's side, she laughed that his brother, Jason Kelce, has been playfully teasing him about stepping into the spotlight as groom of the century, rediscovering the meaning of family. One of the most moving moments came when Taylor reflected on family. After years of prioritizing her career, she admitted she once worried that marriage might clash with her demanding schedule. Travis made me believe that family doesn't stand in the way of dreams, she said, her voice thick with emotion. He supports me on every stage, and I support him too. She described the times he flew in to attend her shows, the encouraging texts before his biggest games, and the quiet nights spent listening to unreleased demos together. We're a team, she said firmly. The dress, the music, and the moment. When asked about her wedding dress, Taylor laughed warmly. I've imagined it since I was a little girl. While she kept details private, she hinted that the gown would be timeless, elegant, and uniquely tailored to her. As for the music, she joked that she likely wouldn't perform a marathon set at her own wedding. I want to actually enjoy being the bride, she smiled. Speculation has already begun about which of her famous friends might perform, but Taylor emphasized that the most important element will be authentic emotion, not spectacle. A new chapter. With nearly 2 decades in the spotlight, countless awards, and record-breaking tours behind her, Taylor acknowledged that this phase of life feels different. I've written so many songs about love, heartbreak, and hope, she reflected. But this time, I'm not writing about a dream. I'm living it. According to her, Travis is the one who helps her see the future clearly. He always says, "We're going to build this together." And I believe that. Fans react. Shortly after the interview aired, phrases like Taylor Wedding and Kelce Swift Forever surged to the top of trending searches. Millions of fans shared messages of excitement and support, many commenting that this seems like the happiest version of Taylor they've ever witnessed. The calm assurance she radiates today stands in stark contrast to the heartbreak narratives that once defined her ballads. A love that bridges 2 worlds. The pairing of a global pop icon and an NFL star initially sparked curiosity. Over time, however, Taylor and Travis have shown that their connection goes far beyond headlines. We come from different worlds, she explained, but our core values are the same: family, loyalty, and gratitude. She spoke about conversations centered not on fame, but on ordinary days, home-cooked meals, and quiet getaways away from the spotlight. As the interview drew to a close, she was asked what she looks forward to most about marriage. After a thoughtful pause, she answered, "Waking up every day knowing we chose each other. Not because of pressure or expectations, but because of love." That simple yet powerful sentiment encapsulated the entire conversation. This is more than a celebrity wedding in the making. It's the story of 2 people choosing a shared future. While no official date has been announced, fans believe that when the day arrives, it will mark not just a public celebration, but the beginning of a deeply personal new chapter in Taylor Swift's life, one defined by family, stability, and enduring love with Travis Kelce.